referring to your decision-making skills in trading there, most of you are still very poor because you see someone focusing on a pair that for that particular moment you can definitely see that there is no A plus setups that is even there. But you see someone uh investing too much time in that pair, which is not necessary. So you need to be so sharp when it comes to your decision making skills as a trader. That is very key. If you fail in decision making to decide which particular pair should I focus on right now among my pairs, okay, among the pairs, whether there are two or three, whatever pairs that you trade, right? Which particular pair has an ideal A plus setup right now that I should be focusing on? If you don't know that, it's going to be a problem, a serious problem, because you spend your day or your time trying to trade a pair that is not even presenting anything meaningful for that particular moment. So currently, my main focus, remember, this is one of my main pairs that I trade. The most important move right now, I think I've been explaining the most important move that I'm anticipating. It's actually a move into this daily internal structure level. So yeah, this is my main focus right now for US 30. This is my main focus. That was the break like this. That was the break of structure there. So even if the market comes all the way to this order flow level down here, it will still be fine. So that's a major pullback that I'm actually anticipating on US 30. And how it begins up there, that's the most also, that's a high level skill that you need to have. How that move, the pullback move, how it begins up there, you being able to see it as it begins, it's also a skill that is very important because it will help you in the long run, help you even to catch the whole move as it begins. Even here, if it comes and ends here, you also see it as it ends. So this is one of the major moves that I'm anticipating. This I can say this what for the next coming, I don't know, weeks. Is it weeks, days, weeks, even months? Because it's a major move. It's a serious major move to the downside. Because right now, this is the highest that US has ever gone. And based on laws and based on principles, we can't just keep on going up and up without giving some form of pullback, retracements and all that before we continue. So in as much as we have created all-time highs there on the US 30, now the main most important thing is the major pullback before we continue the upside. So looking at things from, let me see if I can put the weekly as well into perspective. Okay, on the weekly, there's nothing interesting there. Okay, just looking on the daily, right? Looking on the daily, what has to happen in order for the daily to start to reverse? That's one thing that people don't also understand the difference between um time frames, whereby if you're looking at the market structures from the daily perspective, there's something that the daily has to do in order for this pullback to begin. For example, the daily has to induce basically in order for this market. That's an inducement there on the daily. That will be an inducement when you're looking at it from the perspective of the daily, right? Then, when you're now looking at it from the lower time frames perspective, you actually see that that daily inducement will basically be a change of character. When you go to lower time frames, like your 1 hour, sometimes even 4 hour, you actually see it it will actually appear as a change of character, which is also correct based on the law of time frames. So on the daily, this is basically what has to happen. Just to take out this. Once it takes out this, know that the major pullback has begun. Right. So before it does all this on the daily, there are things that it has to do on the lower time frames. I always tell people that your 1 minute is also as important as your daily, as your weekly, as your, because that move that you might be anticipating or waiting for on the weekly, on the daily, on the H4, whatever, on the whatever time frame, it always begins from that lowest time frame, which is the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, your 30 minute. That's where it begins. So imagine if those time frames, if they don't give that confirmation or that confluence, that move, it means it won't happen even there where you are waiting for it. So people, they always say lower time frames are useless, lower time frames this, lower time frames that. There is a certain truth to that, but there are also lies to that. they are also as important as your higher time frames. The reason why lower time frames, they seem to be people, they don't usually like them. The reason is one, let me tell you the honest truth today. When it comes to analyzing, lower time frames, they tend to sometimes they can complicate, not complicate in the sense of really complicating, but in the sense of giving you a lot of structures. Let's say you are going to use the 5 minute and the 1 minute for a day for 24 hours. You're going to be using those 1 minute and 5 minutes, just 1 minute and 5 minute only, right? You are going to see that for that day, you're going to come up with a lot of structures during that day, whether the structures are continuation structures or they are reversal structures or whatever, but there are going to be many structures during that day. That's the difference now between a lower time frame and the high time. But when it comes to higher time frame, you can realize, for example, here we only have two main things that we're looking at, right? We did the major break, right? We did the major break there. That was one cycle, right? Like that. Then now once we induce here, we have another cycle to the downside, which is a pullback. Then once we induce again, we have another cycle to the upside. So these are three structures, basically, or three cycles that we are basically going to be focusing on when you are just looking on the daily. So when you go lower to lower time frame, you will see a lot of this of structures that are involved in this overall movement. So it's an understanding that you must have. If you don't have the understanding of knowing the difference between time frames and how it even affects your overall analysis and all that, if you don't understand that, there's going to be a problem when it comes to you maximizing on the financial markets. So when I'm looking on the 4 hour, remember that daily adjustment that I showed you, it was actually here. When I'm now looking on the 4 hour, it's actually a change of character. Because here, this is my adjustment. That was my simple break. That was my simple break there, like this. This down here will be my change of character. So once they change character on the 4 hour, then you know that it's the same thing basically, whereby on the 4 hour it's appearing as a change of character. There on the daily, it's appearing as something else. So it's just a simple difference, but they will basically be saying the same thing. So yeah, on the 4 hour, I can see that literally this market is still pushing up, still push it up. Even here, as they came back here, they didn't take this leg out. So now they are sort of like shooting up according to what you're seeing on the 4 hour, right? Then there are some details that you'll find also that are very key, that are very fundamental. Details like this will help you to know that, for example, there what it has done, this inducement to the upside, it helps you now to know that this change of character leg is no longer there, but it's actually now here, according to what that 4 hour just did there. So it's now here like this. That's point number one. Point number two, we now need to see what the 1 hour and the 2 hour might most probably be saying, because it's going to help us as well to now make a decision. Because the most important thing at the end of the day is making a decision. So yeah, if we're going to mark our structure according to the 2 hour, this is a time frame that I rarely see people using it, but it's also a very important time frame. Very key in the sense that it's very solid, rarely experiences any, in as much as fake outs, they come once in a while, but they are lesser when it comes to other time frames. So this is our current structure right now. That's a higher high because of the adjustment. This is a higher low because we broke. That's a higher high because of the adjustment to the downside. Higher high. This is a higher low because of the adjustment to the upside like this. It's actually there where I placed it, yes. So now, here now, when I saw something profound now, which is this. This adjustment to the downside, automatically it has made this a what? A lower high. We can literally call it a lower high, even though here it's appearing as an equal high and all that, right? So its failure to create a higher high there is the first major sign that most probably that move that we've been anticipating for a very long time is now about to begin. So now, once you see them changing character like this, you need to start celebrating, because the major pullback that is going to last for weeks and months on US state would have begun. For some of us, we actually can hold even for the entire move up until it ends. So those will be the moments where you need to start celebrating. So yeah, once you see them changing, they can give you maybe a pullback before the overall continuation, which is just the nature of the markets and all that. So once you see them changing character, you need to start jumping, because that major pullback would have begun. So it's the same thing also on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, I even put a zone where they can come and bounce on. I put this demand here where they can come and bounce on for that pullback, which is this one. Yeah, something like this. Right. So this my main structure right now is like this, right? So this is my main structure. But that what has actually happened there, remember, if the market is going to do something, there are always signs that it gives you. Even if they are going to change character, there are signs that we're not going to change character. Changing character, it actually happens before it happens. The market actually changes character before it actually changes the character. It's an ability that you have, you must develop, whereby you can actually see that now we are going to change now. For example, here, if you notice here, this market kept on being bullish, 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 bullish. Even here when it came back here, it was strongly bullish. There was no shift of structure. Definitely, there was no even sign that most probably we're going to go down. Same with even all the other moves that happened even ever since this year began on US 30. As the market was approaching these, right, let me show you a practical example of what I'm trying to say. So if you notice in January, the January move, main move in January was this one, whereby the market did that break. After doing that break, obviously they induced to the downside. After inducing, then they gave this major pullback. So this pullback, uh, the reason why it didn't keep on going was the reason was the market, it actually succeeded to make a higher high. That was a good thing. Then it induced, good thing. Then here, they sort of like came back again to the same level. So coming back to so even this sell, it was a good sell because it actually did sell. It was a valid sell. But them now failing to change character, it just meant that they couldn't keep on selling. So if they changed here, they were going to keep on selling and selling and selling. But now, same thing here where we are now. Where we are, yes, we have now induced here. We now have equal lows, equal highs, I mean, which is the first sign that most probably the buyers have now lost, they are now losing momentum, right? So that's why I said once we come back to the demand level that caused this inducement, we are going to take our sales from there, which are valid straight sales that are so valid. So there are two scenarios here. You can see the market dropping from here. Then once you see them inducing from here, it literally means here we now have a higher low. Once we now have a higher low, definitely they can now come back and take that out. That's a rare scenario, which it can also happen, right? It can also happen, but it's a rare one because once you see them failing like that, automatically those are signs, very good signs that most likely the scenario that will happen is whereby they now come now and change. Once they change, you see something like this. They will induce. Once they induce here, they now have a lower low, which means we now have a lower low. They'll shoot up, shoot up, shoot up, shoot up, create our lower high, maybe somewhere around there. Then it's now an overall bearish order flow that would have begun. So up there, that's where our pending sell orders are right now currently. Many people right now, they are busy trying to sell here. Hey, we have broken a support. Now we are selling. Okay, sell there. You see the market showing you flames. I think I've explained over and over these points that your retail trading concepts, they are being used against you. They are utilizing this knowledge that you have of retail understanding. They are using it against you, if they want to manipulate you, if they want to do whatever they want to do to you, they'll simply utilize your retail knowledge. So here someone might draw this as, say, we've broken a major level, major level, major level. So they are busy selling. As they are busy selling, you might actually be shocked to see the market taking them out. They are simply collecting liquidity so that once they tap into the institutional zone, then they drop. So retail concepts they have been placed there for your own destruction. If I was a market maker, if I was an institution, the only way to trap a retail trader is to use the retail trading knowledge. That's how they think, these guys. Once you understand how they think, you also start to align yourself with also how they think. You actually cease to become a victim to manipulation. So this is the main trade right now that we're having on US 30. Nothing else, nothing much, nothing less. We are simply waiting for the market to come back here. Then we take ourselves. Once we change character, ooh, that will be a good thing. Once we change character, then if they come here and induce exactly on this zone, it means for that meantime, either we can lock our profits or we can take our profits, right? Maybe waiting for the pullback, right? We can take our profits once you see them inducing here because they'll be now wanting to pull back. Once you see them inducing now like this, they'll be the pullback to the upside will have begun. So you can even decide to take your profits down there. If you don't take them, you can even lock and make sure that that trade that you entered initially up there is now risk free. Once they come back to a level like that, then there we are looking forward to the next moves up until so these next ones, those ones this first one and this second one, those two I usually recommend. Yes, the first one, yes, you might take profits here, it's fine. But this one now, I usually recommend for you to hold it for a very long time because there's a huge potential. You look at this huge gap that we have to the downside. If you manage to hold this trade all the way to here, even if you have a small account, even if you had a small account when you took that trade up there, by the time we get down there, definitely that account balance would have improved in a huge way. I'm not There are so many, obviously there'll be so many opportunities scaling, you'll be scaling in obviously, but just you entering where the initial move is happening, you definitely make very good money out of that. So that is it for US 30. Is there anything yet serious on gold? Nothing serious as yet to talk about on gold. Nothing serious, nothing much serious to talk about on gold. Say, why wouldn't we wait for H4 chalk before it takes us from that zone you marked? Remember, you are not. Some of you are not listening. Remember what I said. What has happened here, this is a sign that here we now have this as a lower high. Having this lower high will drop from there. This is a confirmation that we are going to drop. Then this drop now, it's only lasting as far as this region. So if they come now and change this, that's a double confirmation now. This is the first sign that we are going to drop. So someone can wait for the H4, someone can even wait for the daily. You understand? Someone can even decide to say, I'm waiting for the daily to confirm. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you waiting for the daily, waiting for the. You can wait for that. As you are waiting, some of us, as you are waiting, will be inside the trade that you'll be waiting for to happen. So you decide which one you want to be. You can wait. You can decide to wait. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. You can wait for it. As you are waiting, us will be in. So gold, nothing serious much to talk about. There's nothing major to really talk about, nothing really serious. The only serious structure that I'm currently having now is on the, I think is it 15 minute or 5 minute? Let me see. I think it's 5 minute, which actually gave me this move that I'm about to partake on, this buy on gold. Nothing really serious to say it's an A plus or major A plus. It's not really those ones. So yeah, once gold comes back here to this demand, you can safely take a buy. That's a safe buy to take from on gold. Wait for it to come into this region here. Wait for it to come here. Once it comes there, then you strike your buys. We hold all the way to the previous as well as that level up there. So gold, nothing really much to talk about. Nothing much. GBPSD actually gave us some sales previously. When was it? Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I think it's day before yesterday, where we saw these sales. I remember, I think we took them around here. Yeah, I think we took them around here. Then we just played around with in this whole level, but eventually it dropped like that. So GBPSD, what is now happening? I'm just anticipating a major pullback before we go up maybe and tap that untapped zone that I gave you. Those two major supply zones that we drew that day on the 4 hour, those are major levels that we are looking forward to tap into before our overall drop. So looking at this, just looking at structure from a 4 hour perspective, we broke. Let me go to 1 hour. 1 hour, I believe it's more clear for some of you. We broke here, we broke structure there. We induced, we broke structure there, we induced again. So now, so long they haven't taken out this leg, there's no change of characters yet. So now I have this extreme supply here, which was tapped. So it might not even come all the way there. It may not necessarily come all the way to that whole zone, which is here, because they were tapped already. So now you just need to be smart and identify where it's going to do a market structure shift, where it shifts, that's most probably the level that the market will definitely bounce from. So most of the levels they've been tapped, most of the levels they've been tapped, most of the levels. So it can come back again for the second taps. For example, in levels like this, it can come back maybe for the second tap again before going. Even here, it can even come for the second tap before going. So that entry was okay. So now all we are looking forward to, this drop came back up. So here it isn't broken. So here it can even come back to this supply here. One can even take a sell, right? Then it comes here. Once it induces like here, definitely there you can take buys. Once you take those buys, where is your TP? Your TP, you're looking forward to this level, first TP, second TP. So if they manage to induce even here, if they come all the way and induce here, of which that's why I say even after tapping your level like this, that's when you can even go to 15 minutes just for an extra confluence, 5 minutes for an extra confirmation before you just jump in, right? So even once you get the adjustment, you take your buys, first TP, second TP around there, second, third major TP will be up there. So that's it for GU. It's not on the zone as yet. Another interesting pair is USDJPY. I think I've been talking about USDJPY for a very long time now. I remember just this morning, as I was about to prepare for this session, I saw this simple buy there. Looking on the 4 hour, I think I explained that we are still overall bullish. Looking on the daily, we are bullish as well. We are bullish, overall bullish. You can see that even when you zoom out like this, overall bullish, overall bullish. Looking even at the current market structure, this is our previous major higher high, higher low, major swing higher low, swing higher high, swing higher low. And we are actually anticipating them to come in that region and take this out, take this level out. Because right now, even inside structure, they are bullish. Break of structure here, that was a higher low. That's a higher high. The induced, that's a higher low. So having this higher low, obviously, we're now anticipating them to come and wipe that out. That's the first major anticipation. So going to the 4 hour, you can see the inside structure. You know that inside structure doesn't change up until they finish the move. So the ending of the move is up there. And inside structure here was bullish. Bullish break structure. We induced here, broke structure. So here we had this as our higher low, higher high is there. Our higher low now. This one has been confirmed as a higher low. Confirmed by what? By this. So this, someone can even label it as an adjustment. Yes, it's correct because uh, it's all an adjustment. So, but the difference now is that this one now, the reason why it can also now be termed a change of characters because it's in alignment with the order flow. Its order flow is bullish. The adjustment that you get in a bullish order flow market, it's literally a change of character that will give you those move to the upside. So now we've actually changed character here or we've induced to the upside. It now means we're now, and this is a confirmation. This is a confirmation that this has been made a leg. Now all you now need is a pullback, wipe out all this trend line liquidity, support and resistance liquidity, tap into this demand. Then we fly first TP, second TP. That's a swing trade as well, which is this one is an A plus setup now. A plus setup that I want you to also partake on. It's an A plus setup, A plus, very A plus. All the confirmations have happened. You are just waiting for it to tap this on. So usually, even if it's not part of your pair, when your pairs are not having A plus setups for the moment, what I usually even recommend for people to do is once you fully identify a pair that might not be among your pairs that you trade, but you find a very strong high confirmation confirming an A plus setup. Those are setups that you just need to take and hold. You take it here. Once it starts to move, confirms whatever, you just put your stop loss to break even, you hold it up until it comes all the way to your TP there. You won't lose anything because it's an A plus setup. The probability is high for it to win. So here I actually had drawn a supply where I'm anticipating the pullback. I actually did on the 4 hour around this level. That's where I said I'm going to most probably it can start to pull back from that supply. Then when I went to the 1 hour, I actually refined the level to this Yeah, it's basically this whole level here. So even even this buy, it was a very simple buy to identify because all you're identifying, because here, what must never happen before they tap there is inducement. Because once they induce, it means they're now pulling back. So you just look at structure as simple as it is: up, down, up, came back down here, didn't take this out. So even this, even this up, down, right? Up, down, we now have this sub-internal higher low. Coming back to this sub-internal higher low, that's an entry here. They came back here, they did whatever move that they did. Then they came, they took this out. They took this out, made that a high, made that a low. So even before they made that a high and a low, you can see even as they were going, that was up, down. Here they came, they took that out, made this an up, made this a down, made this an up, came back this down. So that was how I identified this. If you go to a lower time frame, like a 30-minute or 15-minute, you can actually see that structure formation much more clearer. So here it's even much more clearer on the 30 minutes. So this was the last move, up, down, up, down. This was the last down, up, then they came back to down. A simple buy. So now once you come here, do this down, then we induce. Once they induce like this, know that you can even take cells, coming down with it. So the people who will be waiting to buy down there, they can wait for some of us who can even ride the sell coming down with it. It's an art. It's an art. It's an art. Once you have mastered the art, uh, you can actually literally be in certain trades that people will be waiting for. If people will be waiting to buy there, you can actually calm down with it. Calm down with the market. The same market that people are waiting to buy, you can sell with it, then you buy again there. So this is very, very beautiful structures, especially the buy. Don't miss this buy. Most probably is going to happen. This one most probably is going to be here around next week because today is Friday already. Uh, Most probably it will be here next week and we'll just take that swing by. Once it's on the zone as well, I would try by all means to be generous and share the signal in our public groups as well, public Telegram, public WhatsApp. Yeah, I'll share the signal as well. So last but not least, there's this interesting pair. I think that I haven't been really analyzing it with you guys, but personally, I have been looking at it, and it actually gives some very good moves, very very good swing moves that you can catch just trading GBP, JPY. So looking at GBP, JPY, we can looking at it from the weekly perspective like this. I can literally see from the left here, which is the most important first-hand information. Looking at the left here, we had some structures that happened, blah blah. And did it break here? Yeah, it broke. Then they changed character. Changing character, they made this a swing leg. Once you now have a swing leg like that, they now came up and also made that a leg up there. Then as they came back down, they made this a leg. So we now have this swing leg here, which is a higher low, higher than this one. So us having a higher low, higher than this, obviously we anticipate the market come and take this out, right? That's why even this is, you can see the bullish momentum is still strongly bullish. They're most likely going to take this out. Once they take that out, I have a certain supply zone here where I'm anticipating them maybe to tap before they do the next major reversal. But so far, they're still bullish. If you notice, even where the bullish momentum began, immediately when you saw this, it had confirmed this as a swing higher low. Once we now have a swing higher low, once we now hit a swing higher low, it was so simple. They now confirmed even with the change of character. That was a double confirmation. Once they confirmed like that, here you could have taken your first initial buys, you could have taken them there from this region. Going to the daily, even the H4, you could have gotten so many confirmations just from there, from down, 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 down here. There were so many confirmations that one could have gotten just from going. Once they tap in the region, all you do, for example, here, that was an adjustment, right on the daily, that was an adjustment. This was a break novel, that was a change of character. So it means by the time they tapped here again like this, them inducing like this, them coming back to pull back like this, you would have actually gotten the first major buys from there, from this level here, from this region, right? So as they went on now to change character, those are now just extra confirmations that are now just happening. But based on law, based on principle, institutional principles, that first initial major trade was supposed to be taken that way that I showed you, and you are looking forward to this. And if I show you how long this trade has been going like this, that's why we now have what we call positional traders. Some of us, due to the skill and due to the understanding that we now have on the market, we can go beyond swing trading now. We can now go beyond swing trading, which is now position trading. Position trading can hold the trade for months and months. Sometimes you can even go as far as a year. There are accounts like that personally, and my guys, obviously, there's a hedge fund that is in progress and all that. We have accounts like that where we can now literally hold a trade. We simply identify where the major move is coming, is happening. Once it begins, we enter there, then we can just project that we are going to hold it for months or whatever. We just hold it. We just hold it. Those are certain accounts where we don't necessarily need to scale in as such. But if there's opportunity to scale in, for example, if ever someone was a positional trader or even a swing trader or even your normal trader, daily trader, you also need an understanding of what's happening here on the weekly, because here, what you need to understand is they will never induce to the downside up until the move ends. So knowing that in mind, once we came from this level here, made this, that was my last high, that was my last low. Then here already we now have a higher high. Coming back here, this was an entry. You could have scaled in buys, higher high. Came back here, you could have scaled in buys. We broke this. Even after breaking this, I can even scale in buys. They put my stop loss below here. Then they went up, came down, went up, came down to the same sub-internal higher low. There, you could have scaled in buys, scaled in buys, scaled in buys. Then they broke it, made a new high, came back to the same level, scaled in buys, did whatever they did. Here, this is within this. Then they made this new high, came back to the same level, buying again, broke, made a new high, did a pullback to the extreme. That was a buy, made a new high, low, new high, came back to the low, you could have bought, new high, came back to the low, you could have bought. You see all these opportunities that I'm labeling simply from the weekly. When I now go down to the daily 4 hour, you will see the same opportunities. The only difference will be the way you are going to see them is going to be different. They will look like crazy big structures on the lower time frames there. That's why I simply told you the difference between a higher time frame and a lower time frame is simply mainly how structures are appearing, the number of structures and all that. So all those were buying opportunities, scaling opportunities actually on the weekly. Someone might think, let me just let me just do this. This on the daily, right? This on the daily. Daily, weekly, H4, your main structures must be there, your main analysis must be there. Those 15-minute, 30-minute, even 1 hour, they just go there just for entries and whatever. So yeah, that was a break. Simple break, simple clear break. Here they induced, here they mitigated. So there was no need to tap there. So they came and tapped here. So our next buy, where is it? I want to show you how many positions you could have even bought and actually scaled in on this opportunity. Then they came, they broke. After breaking there, they did an extreme pullback. The reason why I usually, when you want to really go aggressive on entries, if you identify especially these extreme pullbacks, there are crazy moments where you can even scale in as much as you want. So all of these were opportunities of entering. Even if you missed the first buy, even let's say you attempted here, you missed this one, you would have gotten this one. If you missed this one, you would have gotten this one. If you missed this one, you could have gotten this one. So even after missing this, along the way, as they will be going based on principle, based on law, do you know that based on law, there's no internal or sub-internal shift of structure, which is basically what you call an inducement that must happen from here, from this entry point up until you take out this previous leg. There's no inducement that must happen. So me knowing that even if I miss this, right, I'm just following my structure low, high, low. Once we break here, I can even enter, put my stop loss below. That's a new high. That's a new low. I can even buy here, put my stop loss below here. That's a new high. Came back to this. I can even buy here, put my stop loss below here. Because there's nothing that must happen up until you take this out. So eventually after they take that out, then that's when you see them inducing. They induce, they come back to the level, which was the next set of entries. So even if I missed this one, I could have waited for this. Once they break here, just wait for a pullback. You could have bought again there. Here, new high, new low, you could have entered again, new high there, new low. You could have bought again there, new high, came back to the same low, you would have bought again. Your target is simply this before they induce. So there are so many opportunities of scaling in once you have this understanding. So I don't want to waste much time on this, but this is basically how you would. So even as they were going, they're now forming new structures. As you can see, new structures, but they were basically all bullish structures, all bullish structures, all bullish structures. They induced, came back to the level, broke structure. After they broke structure, they induced, came back to this extreme. That was an extreme buy. Broke structure. They induced here, came back to the extreme. You would have bought. Induced, came back to the extreme. So because they are targeting this major leg, remember. Here, they induced here, broke structure, induced here, came back to the extreme. You could have bought here instantly. Broke structure, induced, came back to this leg. That was a buy again. This was actually in January. Starting January this year, you were supposed to be in a buy on GJ. Buy there. First major tip is there. Second major tip is there. Right now, you'd still be holding that same buy. Simple swing trade that you could have entered this year as the year began is this one. Very simple. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Very, very simple stuff. So here, confirmation came and strike. You strike there. Papa, aggressively as much as you want. You hold. Now it's still bullish, induced, broke structure, induced,